Oh, that wasn't as loud as it hurt. Oh. Ah. Oh shit, here it comes. Here it comes, back pain. I didn't even hit it. Oh, wait. Oh, God, there we go. Oh, man. Here it comes. God, I didn't even hit it that hard. It didn't even hit my dick. It, grabbed it, jerked it up when I was going down. It, grabbed me under my nutsack. Oh, God. Why I've posted some of the things in the past that I have posted onto YouTube, I will never understand. Hi everybody, Steve the Amateur Historian. And those of you that watch me, a lot of you on this channel probably only know me for this particular channel. Technically I have 3 channels that I have going. I have my Steve from Oregon channel that I started and then just kind of abandoned. It's always there to just be a catch-all for other stuff that I do, but really there's just this channel, and then there's my Silly Sister Pictures YouTube channel, which is more towards my film work stuff. But I have created probably 8 different YouTube channels over time, many of which I can't access anymore because I created them before the whole Google buying out YouTube thing that happened. And so the channels are just there. I'm sure there's a way I can redeem control of them, but I don't even know why I would bother. Other than to keep the world from seeing some of the stuff I did when I was considerably younger. In this case in particular, I had a YouTube channel. It's still up. 79 subscribers, 54 videos. The last video I posted was on July 19th, 2012. So, 7.5 years ago. And that is going to be the subject for today's YouTube video, is I'm going to discuss my Steve's Idiot Box channel that I maintained for a couple of years. And in particular, the channel's main focus was, for a brief period of time, primarily from 2005 to 2008, I used to do really bad content. Really dumb, knock-off, jackass type stunt stuff. It was really bad. Steve the Amateur Historian. Okay, so to get things started, my very first YouTube channel I ever created was called Steve Dative 1000. I don't know why I called it that. I guess I thought that would be specific towards me. And it was mostly just a collection of short films and random stuff I did for fun with my friends. Kind of the movies I did before I really became a filmmaker. Just kind of a catch-all of things. But really starting in 2000, actually, to be fair, 2003, we did this really troubling music video in my media communications class. I actually have a video about it on here. I think I call it the most offensive thing I did in high school, or the most offensive video I made in high school, and I tell the full story behind this. But in that video, we have a bit where my friend throws me over a railing, and I do this tumbling Matrix thing and just wipe out. But I landed it, and I was fine, and that ended up leading to this thing where every video we did afterwards, I had to do some kind of dumb stunt thing. And so it started in 2003, and then by 2005, once I started more regularly having a camera, me and my friend Scott would go out and just get weird. You know, we were young. We were 19, 20. We were a lot more dude-ish and guy-ish than we are now. So we would just go out and get crazy. Our metabolisms were both through the roof, so we were just constantly running around doing stuff. It's actually one of my most favorite periods of my life. I have a lot of nostalgia about like the summer of 2005, which was like the first summer after our first year of college, and we spent pretty much the whole summer together and just got crazy. And that was the groundwork for just starting to do crazy stuff. It started with me. We went to the park down by the river, and we found a chair out there that we just proceeded to beat the crap out of.
Insane. He's like throwing
Break out!
I got that on film.
And this was all one day. We ended up driving down to Clackamas High School, and I ran head on straight into the padding they had for like high jump.
I told you.
And that just kind of started it. That just got the ball rolling. And I just started doing a lot of things on my own. Videos of me trying to do what a lot of people... That was a very popular thing when YouTube was new. Because a lot of the videos I posted on this channel were stuff I'd done 2 or 3 years before. Because I didn't start this channel until like 2009. And it was almost like an archive for all of these stupid stunt things that I had done. And that was just a really popular thing. That was a big thing early on, was kind of, you can almost call them vines before they were vines, but it was videos of people doing dumb stuff and hurting themselves. It was like the next generation after America's Funniest Home Videos, where you'd have these people sending these little clips of like their dad getting hit in the ball by a softball their kid hit. And that was and there was like YouTube, there was a chat, I don't even know if it's still around. There was a website called stupidvideos.com that I made an account with and put videos on. And actually some of the videos I posted actually got a lot of views and were like promoted in their like, top stupid videos of the week or whatever, which I don't know why I would be proud of that. But that was a big thing, and I was already just kind of doing this years before, unaware that this was becoming like a popular thing. So I just started throwing all this stuff onto YouTube with the idea that I thought they'd get a lot of views, and most of them didn't. So the objective always was to fake it. These were always, because that's what everybody was doing. All these videos of people hurting themselves, all of them were staged. All of them, 80% of them were staged and fake. The problem is, when you're doing stuff like that and you want to stage everything, so, usually it turns out the way you want it to, but then other times they don't. So there's videos that are quite obviously fake and nothing bad actually happened to me. Oh, ow! I don't get hurt at all by the table, but I get hurt by this thing. And then there's the videos where bad stuff wasn't supposed to happen to you, but I actually did kind of hurt myself. And the most popular video of this bunch, which is the one that I started this with, which I honestly think people like more because of the flatulence at the end, which was completely unplanned, and it's something I would never keep in a video today. The funniness of it was the accident that happened. This is a video that I posted called Jumping the Mailbox, which has like 14, or it has like over 3,000 views. And it's like a video that like friends I know have found even though they didn't know it was out there. People I worked with had found it without me even telling them. So, they were just searching YouTube and found this. And the objective of the video was because I was a long jumper. I had good air time. So I thought I could jump the mailbox at our house. So I start running towards it, and about a foot or two before I reach it, I realize the mailbox is too high. The mailbox is like up here, like I'm not going to be able to jump this thing. At best, I'm going to jump up and land my junk right on top of the mailbox and crush it. So at the last second, I decide to stop and push back, but my momentum was still so much that as I jumped, I realized I'm not going to be able to push back in time. So you see me actually like grab the top corner of the mailbox instead of just pushing back. And the little thing that's like that on the top that you grab to open the door. If this is my testicles right here, that thing got up and went up under them. So what you see in that video is a few seconds of actual genuine panic. I thought for a second I had ripped part of my nutsack off of my body. And then as time went on, I realized, okay, it just like scratched it really bad, but I was bleeding a little bit. It was so dumb. But I mean, honestly, the fart at the end, I think, is what has actually made the video popular to people, which, I mean, what can I do about that? But that's not the only one. There's been plenty of other videos where they were supposed to end, it was supposed to be fake, and then I ended up actually hurting myself.
It'd be funny though, unless you get on film.
And here we go! Oh. Ow! Ow! Wow, don't have a whole lot of room. Try this again. Here we go. And then some other stuff was just kind of in between. Things where like I kind of hurt myself a little bit, but at the same time it was like, why were you even trying that in the first place? Oh, fuck! Ah!
Perfect.
Okay. And one of the most embarrassing things about this channel, unfortunately, I think I privatized all these videos before I lost control of the account. My friend Scott, who appears in a lot of these videos with me, he, I think, was trying to get a job as a police officer, and they were doing like background checks on him and stuff. And here was my Steve's Idiot Box channel, and me and my friend Scott, we used to like once a month we would get a bottle of booze, get drunk, and film it. And it wasn't filmed with the intent of putting it on YouTube. It was filmed with the intent of just like, we might get drunk enough that we don't remember any of this, and I actually want to see some of the crazy stuff we do. It was almost just for brief reflection, but some of the stuff was so entertaining that I'm like, I gotta put this a little bit on YouTube. I gotta put this a little bit on YouTube. And what actually, and this is something I'm really not proud of, and it actually became some of my most popular content because, not because people thought it was funny, but because people were fetishizing it. So another reason why I'm glad I took this down. It's a bunch of drunk videos I put up on my YouTube channel, and my friend was trying to become a police officer, and he was like, dude, can you like block those videos out? Like I don't know if they'll find those or not, but I kind of don't want the police to find a bunch of videos of me getting drunk with my friend when I'm trying to become a police officer, so I agreed to privatize them. And I'm really glad I did as well, because something that I posted was I very frequently would throw up while we were getting drunk. It just would happen. And it was so reoccurring. And some of them are actually kind of funny. But there was like 8 or 9 of these videos I posted. And the comedy is almost more my friend laughing at me like, why are you throwing up? In fact, there's one video where that's like all he's saying in the background. And like the first video, I think I just called it Drunk and Vomiting, got like almost 100,000 views, which, I mean, even my Steve's Amateur Historian channel, I only have one video that's broken 100,000 views. But like the comments would come in and you realize that a lot of the views were people that like, this was like the vomiting was like a fetish thing that was turning them on. So beyond my friend's need for me to take them down, I'm glad that I blocked them just to get that crap off my channel. But there were a few videos that I managed to keep up. while in a drunken state. And since I'm here the whole purpose of this video is to embarrass myself, why not throw them out there? Pretty much these were videos where I was drunk with my friend, but you don't see him. So, I mean, you hear him. And just me being dumb. And then there was other things that just found their way onto the channel, like my friend who was in a lot of these videos with me. He was a major Survivor fan. He loved the show Survivor, and they were doing like a whatever they call it. It's not a casting call, but it's like a call. Hey, we're gonna have another Survivor, and we want people to respond, and you had to make like a little video, and he came up with this idea to end it by us trying to make it look like he jumped off the roof of his house just to show he would sacrifice anything. And so essentially it's two clips cut together, but honestly it almost looks real.
I'm gonna jump off my roof. It's not worth it at all.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh god! But then, a red letter day. It was October 2010. And by this time I wasn't really doing a lot of this type of stuff anymore anyway. But I still kind of periodically would do the little kind of fake stunt video. And I do another video of this on my channel where I go into detail about this particular event. Here I am, almost 25 years old, and I'm this dumb. And this is what officially ended my doing fake jackass stunts thing. Was I did a bit where there was a little square tabletop thing. It was like made to screw 4 legs into, and it was like a little table. And it was just kind of sitting in the basement of where I was living. I'm sorry, I just, allergies, my nose is itching, so I'm sorry that I'm scratching my nose a bunch. But there was this little tabletop thing, and the stairs going down, there was like this lacquer or some kind of substance on the paint that was on the stairs where I lived that made the stairs really slippery. And I thought, I'm going to put the tabletop down at the top of the stairs, I'm going to sit on it, and I'm going to ride it down the stairs to the bottom. Not really expecting anything bad to happen, because there was just a shelf there that was like stuck to the wall, so I would just like ride to the bottom and kind of catch myself. Shouldn't have been a big deal. But I didn't pay attention to the fact that on one corner of the 4 corners of the table, there was a screw. The other 4 legs, for some reason, the screw was in the leg, and you'd screw it into the table. But for one of the legs, the screw was in the tabletop, and I didn't see that screw. So I start to go, and as I go, the table shifts, and as it does that, the screw that I don't realize is on the table goes around, stabs me in my ass, and goes, I still have a massive scar on my left butt cheek from that experience, and it was almost 10 years ago. Just cut myself up. I had to run across the street because church had just ended. My pants are hanging down. I've got blood all over them. I'm screaming like, because there was no alcohol. There was no bandages in the house or anything. So I had to run across the street. I'm like, I got to clean this out. And I remember having to go into the bathroom at the church and have my mom, almost 25-year-old man, I had to have my mom come in and apply stuff to my butt and bandage my ass for me. So that was the end of my jackass stuntery, even though by that point I really hadn't been doing it for like 2 years. And the channel kind of became, I started posting stuff from like a film class I was in on there, and then I just started another channel. Google took over, and that channel just kind of died back in 2012. The last video I can think of that even kind of qualifies into this idiocy that was the whole thing revolved around was a video I did. And it was me and my friend went to the beach. He was actually on a business trip, but he went to the beach. He was like, hey, I'm going to be here for a couple days. You want to go to the beach with me? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go to the beach with you. And I ended up having a massive infection start with this tooth over here that I had gotten punched out like 7 years earlier during PE. I got punched, it got cracked, and over time the tooth fell out. But I forgot about the fact that there's like roots and stuff still up in there. The night we got there was the night it decided to get horribly infected, and the whole trip I felt horrible. Didn't think the whole trip to just stick a bag of ice on my face and numb it and then just ride the storm out. So I just laid in bed and just was a little bitch most of the trip. But we did go out to dinner, and I was trying to just deal the best I could. And on our way back to Tillamook from, I think, Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast. We passed a deer crossing sign, and we thought something was weird about it. So we whipped a U-turn and went back, and I pulled out my camera that I brought along with us because we were going to get drunk the first night, and I was going to film us getting drunk, as I always did. So I had the camera with me. So we did a U-turn and then went back and passed it again. Like, did that sign look interesting to you? And then we approached the sign again and realized, yes, there was something interesting about it.
Where'd it go?
That's no way. That's
Oh my god!
that was not a leg. Somebody had this on it.
So, I mean, what better way to go out on such a dumb, ridiculous channel? I actually thought, again, because, I was lost in that insanity that was like, the start of the 2010s, kind of. Or, the end of the first decade of the 2000s, going into the 2010s, and it was like pre-Vine, where it was these little snippets of people just being dumb. But, they would only be like, 7 to 10 seconds, kind of like what Vine became. Obviously, Vine went beyond just doing stupid shit, but that was, I got lost in that. I actually thought the channel I made was pretty cool and awesome. I thought people were going to watch this and just lose their minds and just love every second of it. And now I look back and I'm like, oh, well, that's there. But you know what? It's a part of me. It's a part of my YouTube journey. And so, unless something drastic happens that requires me to take it down, I'm going to leave Steve's Idiot Box up on YouTube for all to see. Just promise me you won't, because you're not going to gain anything from watching it. So anyway, guys, that's the story behind one of my first YouTube channels. I'm going to do another video, it probably won't be quite as entertaining, about my very first YouTube channel, my Steve Dative 1000 channel, because there's some interesting content on there too, and it was my very first channel. In fact, I think the very first video I posted ever on YouTube was Valentine's Day 2009, so almost 11 years ago. And, but yeah, that is the story of my first and hopefully only YouTube channel predicated on just pure stupidity and primarily trying to knock off jackass type stunts. As you do. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this little embarrassing period from my life that I've long since grown out of, I assure you. Granted, I do get a little reckless out there when I'm exploring, but that's the nature of the adventure. So remember, as always, to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, hit up my Patreon if you want to. And till next time, gang, till the next video, this has been Steve the Amateur Historian, and I'll see you next time.